Hello, my Five Nights at Freddy's movie fans. It's been a bit of a disappointing week for us. You know, CinemaCon just happened in Las Vegas, where all the studios got together to present some of their upcoming movies. Universal was in attendance. They had a whole Blumhouse section, so we were hopeful that we would just get any sort of crumbs concerning the movie, whether it be an official logo, a poster, or the audiences were shown some footage, and then we can read a description of what it looked like, use our imaginations, just get hyped together as a community. Sadly, that didn't happen, but I do not want that to rain on our pizza party parade, guys. I managed to get a hold of some juicy FNAF news that I don't see many people talking about. I was hoping to first bring it up whenever we got revealed a poster or something official about the movie, but I think right now Five Nights at Freddy fans have waited long enough, so let's just talk about something to get us excited and hold us over until we get some official news by Blumhouse. So as I relay this information to you guys, I definitely want to know your opinions down below. What do you think of these details? What can you speculate from it? Because I think this bit of information gives us a good idea of how it might differ from the games or how the basic story might play out. Alright, so yes, the bit of information I was able to find online was thanks to a very generous fan. They're the ones who brought this information to my attention to kind of share with the FNAF community. So really big thank you to them for giving us something to talk about here. And essentially what they found was they were in the middle of doing some movie surveys. This is a common thing a lot of movie studios do nowadays, where they hire a third-party agency to do some marketing research to get a general idea of what the public thinks about an upcoming movie, so they know how to market the film to them. And on this app called Dave, they were giving hefty plot synopsis for upcoming movies and asked which one sounded more appealing to them, one of the movies being Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, of course, I wanted to make sure this was legit and not a Five Nights at Freddy's fan just kind of pulling my leg, writing something on ChatGPT just for my dumb butt to get up here and make a video. I got confirmation from a second source, a YouTuber here online, Critical Overlord, who also sent me this exact same plot synopsis word for word that was shown to him through a different survey company. So Blumhouse is definitely scoping around, trying to get an idea of what people think about this movie who don't already know about it. And so with also keeping that in mind, as I go into reading you this hefty plot synopsis, Blumhouse wrote this officially for the purpose of showing it to someone to give them a really good idea of what this movie will be like without also spoiling it. I know that's a big topic of conversation amongst FNAF fans. They don't want to get spoiled or ruined, so this isn't like a Wikipedia plot synopsis of the movie where it's going to tell you scene by scene what's going to happen. This plot synopsis is more the skeleton, the bones and structure of the actual movie, with, I'm sure, a lot of surprises in between that they're saving for the actual film. Alright, but now that you know the context of where I found this and why I trust this source, let me go into reading this juicy stuff. Sit back. From producer Jason Blum and based on the acclaimed video game series of the same name, in this supernatural horror film, Mike Schmidt, played by Josh Hutcherson, is a troubled security guard who starts a seemingly easy overnight gig at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, the local family entertainment center. Struggling to take care of his 10-year-old sister Abby on his own, the generally undependable Mike is low on options when he lands this new job to pay the bills and brings her along to the gig. Mike quickly realizes, however, that the night shift at Freddy's won't be as kicked back as he was thinking, after he makes a disturbing discovery that the pizza place's 4 horrifying animatronic mascots all apparently come alive, moving about on their own as they hunt down and attempt to kill anyone that is still at Freddy's after midnight. Now Mike and Abby must do everything they can to keep themselves alive through the night. But after local police officer Vanessa Monroe arrives and quickly finds herself thrust in the middle of this terrifying situation, she is able to shed some light on the dark history and inner workings of Fazbear Entertainment and its nefarious co-founder, William Afton, a man who it turns out is a child murderer, with their ghosts now haunting the animatronic creatures, and now Mike, Abby, and Vanessa must find a way to all work together if they are to have any chance at surviving this increasingly deadly night with animatronic characters by Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Woo! That is a pretty hefty, detailed plot synopsis of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie and gives us a way better idea of how this film might play out. So we had already assumed that basic beginning part right there, you know, Mike Schmidt, like we saw in some of the behind the scenes footage of this movie, is going to be working at a mall, gets into some sort of confrontation that gets him fired from that job and has no other option but to work at this rundown family entertainment center, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. But something that we didn't know about before that I guess we could have assumed from the first official photo they released to us is that Mike Schmidt is going to be taking his sister Abby on the job with him because he has no other option. According to the synopsis, it looks like he might be the legal guardian of his sister, or that they're just runaways from their family, because that's one aspect of the movie I'm kind of curious to see how they play up. We know in the games Mike Schmidt ends up becoming Michael Afton, the son of William Afton, the co-founder of Freddy Fazbear's, but in this movie I don't really get the sense that Mike Schmidt knows that about himself just yet, because if he's the guardian of his sister and taking care of her struggling, why would he go work at his father's co-owned establishment, you know? But that does now gives us the better context of that official photo, seeing Abby there next to Freddy Fazbear in front of the pizzeria. Mike Schmidt is there just on the job, sitting around, and probably lets his sister just play with all the arcade machines in the night, thinking it's probably a fun way for her to pass the time while he can't afford anyone to like look after her during those hours of the night. And seeing how in the official photo Abby and Freddy Fazbear are kind of like holding hands with each other, it looks like it could hint to us that these animatronics are maybe friendlier towards children, since it doubles down on sticking faithful to the games that the animatronics are going to be haunted by the children who were killed by William Afton. And so I think that might be a sweet story. Freddy Fazbear might be wanting to protect little Abby and hoping she doesn't become another victim like they do. Another thing this plot synopsis has me curious about is how they go about this family entertainment center Freddy Fazbear, because look, from all the photos we've seen, even from the official one, the place is run down. It is nasty. It has vines on it. It is dirty. What parent is genuinely taking their kid to this place? It really made me think that the movie was going to go the route of just showing flashbacks to, you know, a younger William Afton, then just opening the restaurant, it maybe being successful until a certain incident has them closing down or getting a lot of controversy, forcing the restaurant out of operation, but then they just never closed the building. They just still had it sitting there all these years, and now either William Afton or the co-owner, Henry Emily, needs to hire some security guard to keep an eye on these animatronics and make sure they don't go hunting other people outside of the restaurant. Or maybe more importantly, no weirdos trying to sneak into the building that'll get themselves killed. And so I thought that was the job he was taking up, is just kind of looking after an abandoned pizzeria place. But the description here mentioning, you know, that after midnight this seemingly innocent place goes bad, I'm like, oh, so maybe it is still operational. It just looks like crap outside. It also has me wondering, will they actually make this a 5-night kind of movie? And I'm speaking like in the literal sense, because that's kind of the idea of the game. You know, there's 5 nights, different levels you go through, each night getting increasingly harder. But from the sound of this plot synopsis, it looks like it could all take place on the exact same night. And maybe that just makes more sense for the live action version. Can you imagine like creepy things going about in the restaurant, but you decide to continue to go back to work and bring your little sister with you? I would think like after 2 nights of some paranormal crap going on, I'm not going back to that job. Because even the plot synopsis here ends that Mike, Abby, and Vanessa must find a way to work together if they have any chance at surviving this increasingly deadly night. So 5 Nights at Freddy's might be more like a 5-hour shift at Freddy's. Which again, that's not really a big deal to me. The other piece of information we didn't know about before that wasn't anywhere else and will be kind of like the proof we need to know that this is legit is they reveal the last name for Vanessa's character, Vanessa Monroe. We had no idea the last name of the Vanessa character from any other information, and this right here reveals it to us. You know, a lot of us having our theories. Is she supposed to be the live action version of Vanessa from Security Breach? Or is this just a character with a similar name, or maybe a new interpretation of Vanessa for the live action version? I'm assuming once the first body starts dropping or something goes wrong, then, you know, they call up the police. Vanessa shows up to the scene to check it out, and then she informs Mike and Abby about the dark history about this place. But either way, guys, this is just a little bit of information I found online. Super curious to start reading your guys' comments down there and speculating about what will go down on this movie now with this new synopsis. I appreciate all you guys who watch the videos. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.